Hey, what's up everybody? Episode 12, water to air lines and fittings. Let's go. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be carrying on with a list that I've kind of made at the moment. I've called it the list. Radiator, sort the radiator, water to air, fittings and lines out, engine bay, panel and paint, front guards, they still need a bit of a, they're starting to scrape the wheels, so I need to sort that out. Fuel lines, and we did have turbo lines, but that's all sorted in the last episode. So today we're going to be sorting this one first, the water to air stuff. So I've got a whole bunch of fittings here that I need to throw in the engine bay. So what we've got so far is, from the old setup, I've got these two hoses here which lead up to the ice box, which is usually in the boot here. Oh, the hoses must be down there somewhere, but the box sits here. So those are those lines, running them underneath the carpet. And then before, let's see if we can see this, where that hole is. Before I just poked the hoses straight out of that hole, but that's where the wiring loom went, and was never really happy with it, and I always wanted to make it tidier. So today is that day. So I'm going to chop these hoses a little bit, because what I will be doing is, so that's the hole that we were looking at just from the inside. Get that out the way. So what I'm going to be doing is drilling two holes in here somewhere around here, and I'll be putting some 2-10 bulkheads, straight bulkheads in here. Then I'll put some fittings on the hose inside, screwed up on the inside, and then I can screw from the outside, and that'll keep it kind of a bit more tidy. So one other thing that I did between this episode and the last is I had a go at welding again. So I've welded a couple of plates on the side there. I'll see if I can find the photo. So what I've done is I've welded in the plate and tidied it up so it hides all those holes. Same on that side, and if you remember, there was a big hole in here as well, but now I've welded all that up as well. So what's going to happen is those two lines, which is a feed in return, will come to two new bulkhead fittings that I'll put in there. So it'll go from the ice box in the boot, out one up to the cooler, which sits here, from the cooler down. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put 4 90-degree bulkhead fittings in here somewhere. So from the cooler down, it'll go straight into the water pump that will sit here. From the water pump, it'll pump it through my old Trust air-to-air intercooler that I've converted to water, to hold water instead. It's probably not the best thing for cooling water on a water-to-air setup, but I couldn't use the PWR cooler that I had, the heat transfer that I had, wouldn't fit anywhere. So anyway, I'm using this. We'll see how it goes when we get a tune. Could look at changing it, but I'll run with it for now. Let me start again. Fittings up to the cooler, from the cooler down bulkhead fitting to the pump. Pump will pump it through the top fitting, do its thing, come back out under to another fitting and back into the straight bulkhead in the firewall, and that'll go back to the box. And that's my setup pretty much. So what I'll do now is I'll first of all suss out where my two holes are going to go, drill them out and get those straight bulkhead fittings in there tightened up, and then I can start shoving these fittings on this. I was going to use braided line, but I might just use this rubber hose for now because I've already got it. So I'll still make use of that. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so I've got about 80 to 90% of it hooked up so far. I'll just start with what it looks like down here by where the ECU goes. Okay, so I've got a couple of 45s up there that are connected to the bulkheads that go through to the engine bay. So remember, these two hoses used to just go right through that hole. So I've got a couple of 45s on there. So this one on the right is the feed and the one on the left is the return. So that's that part. And then coming from, okay, so the one on the right is the return, and the one on the left is this hose here. So that this end here will go to the firewall, and this fitting here will come to this fitting just on this side of the cooler. So that's all cut to length, I just haven't put it on. So into the cooler out, so I've put these bulkheads in there. For some reason I thought I needed 4, but I only need 2, so that's cool. So down here, and then we get to the pump part. So this is the feed into the pump. My pump was sitting over here, but yeah, it was sitting over here facing up, but with these bulkheads on, it was a little bit too close, so I had to move it, and it's pretty much on its limits where I could bolt it. I hope that'll be sweet. It's not going to move anyway, so I'll carry on. So that's the feed into it. This hose here is coming out of the pump, goes into the cooler up the top, returns out of the cooler into the other bulkhead, which is that one, and then that one returns to the icebox in the boot. So I haven't hooked up this hose yet. I'm not sure if you can see it, but this hose here is kind of like a silicone hose, and it goes onto this plastic hose tail of the pump a little bit nicer. This hose here is just a rubber hose, but it's got this stitching. You can stretch it a little bit, but it's got a point where it just won't stretch anymore, and I can't. There's a little lip right here on this plastic hose tail of the pump, and I can't quite make it over. So what I'll do is I'll shoot down to speed factor in the morning, and I might grab another hose, silicone hose like that one, and then it pretty much slips over quite nicely, and then as long as I clamp it, it'll be sweet as. So I might swap that hose out. While I'm at it, I might get enough length to swap this hose out as well, just so it looks a bit nicer. And alright, This hose is sweet, but it's try not to put too much pressure on the bulkhead, so if I can make that one a little bit longer as well. So I'll get some more hose, hook that stuff up in the morning. What else will I do? I will put that hose back on. Everything's just hand tight at the moment. I'll do it up tight and then I'll do a final shot in the morning, and that will be our... I might put the icebox in the boot, which is over here. I might put that in the boot, hook it up and get some power to it, and just see if this pump pumps through, just to give it a check that everything's going. It'll take a bit of water. Can I be bothered doing it? I don't know, I'll figure it out in the morning. So yeah, I'll go swap these hoses in the morning, and then once I've done that I'll tighten up everything, and then I'll just do a final sweep over everything. Choice. Okay, new day. Got that line sorted. So there's my new silicone hose. Yeah. Okay, new day. I've ended up getting that new silicone hose, and it just slips real nice onto the pump. Yeah, so figured out those barbs on the pump are a little bit bigger than the dash 10 AN fittings, which is all good. So now that's all plumbed up. So I've got that second hose going up to the cooler there, through that little gap, plumbed into the firewall at the back there. I've got these, I've forgotten what you call them, but they hold the hoses in place. Probably don't need them, but it does, with the two of them there, it stops the hoses from moving too much. So yeah, stoked with that. So that's it for this episode. Real happy that I've got all those lines plumbed up and ready to go again. In the next episode I will be, oh no, let's go check our list. Can rub that one off now. Can't do the radiator yet. I was going to do that first, we'll do that later. Could probably do those ones, but I'll probably get this one in the next episode, fuel lines. So that's putting the injectors in these rails and hooking up the fuel lines. Now, spoke to a mate yesterday, Sticks, the fab guy, and I was going to get rid of the standard lines. I'm pretty confident those are dash 6 lines from factory. I was going to run my own dash 8 braided hoses and get rid of those and come up somewhere down there and then come up to the engine. On the feed I was going to split into two 6s so I can do the split rail setup on the intake, but we might just I might just run with those lines, dash 6, and just hook it up to there. One, less work, cheaper, I don't need to buy new lines. And we're just thinking I might wait for the tuner to tell me we could get more power if you had a bit more fuel, and that's when I'll change it. So I guess it's a pretty good test. I can imagine other people have already done the test, but just to see how much these lines can actually handle. But anyway, that'll be in the next episode, so if you're keen to stick around, like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you in the next episode.